So we're with Tracey Countryman with Accenture, and Tracey, it's good to see you. And
You
how
too,
are
Don.
things going here at Optimize 2019?
Fantastic.
Is
It's
it?
been a really good couple of days.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I got to see you on a panel yesterday, and I was truly impressed by the questions that you were asking the panel, and obviously your involvement in the industry is really something that is impressive.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It was a good panel, by the way.
It was a
to be
very
fair,
good panel.
A panel is never good unless the people on the panel are fantastic.
Well, and the questions being asked, obviously somebody with a lot of knowledge like yourself. So what is your perspective on the level of maturity and readiness for industrial operations to adopt the digital thing that seems to be the whole talk here?
I mean, it's an interesting question. So I think if you'd asked me that even 2 years ago, I would have said we're kind of nowhere close, right? Because I think what's leading is consumer goods and financial services and other things. And now if I look at refining and chems, we've hit an inflection point of digital being at the top of the agenda. As far as maturity goes, and if we define that by scaling of digital technologies, not just doing proof of concepts, we're still quite low. I mean, our most recent refining survey that we issued last year and even this year, right, is between kind of 6 and 14% that would say the return. That's all.
Wow.
Well, it's not a surprise, right? I mean, the industry itself, if we take refining, has been driving around automation and margin improvement for decades, right? So they have some very great core operational technologies that have improved their performance. Right. So there's always been a little bit of question about what's the incremental add for digital. And I think we're now starting to see some proof of concepts and some value propositions that are coming to the forefront that are making it real for the industry.
Is the industry accepting of all of this? Are they biting at the bit, ready to go?
I think they are, and I think that's happened in the last year. Yeah. So if I think about most of our clients that we service and have the honor to service, almost all of them have worked on some level of a digital strategy in the last 18 months. And many of them are building kind of the core capabilities or the engine that's going to allow them to innovate around digital and deploy in the operations.
You know, the other conversations that I've had is all about the millennial generation taking over the baby boom generation because they're retiring out.
Yep.
How is that affecting all of that?
I think it's one of the main drivers. So if you look at the average age of the industry, I can't remember exactly what it is, but we're talking, if you take North America, for example, between kind of 47 and 50 for at least within the refining sectors. And what that means is, in the next 5 years, we're going to see a wave of new people coming in. And the harder question that people are trying to answer is, why would a Generation Z or millennial want to come work in a plant, right, with the type of work and the ways of work that we do it today? And digital is actually part of the agenda to say, to attract talent, we're going to have to change the way we do work.
So describe the digital company of the future, a year from now, 10 years from now.
Well, I guess I would caveat that a little bit to say that I'm not sure we'll ever be a digital business when it comes to operations. I mean, we run things, right? We have high fixed costs. We make product. It comes out of the end. We service the markets. So the key is how do we digitize and digitally enable those operations to have higher performance. If I were to describe 10 years from now what that might look like, I think we're going to see ideally no paper running around a plant. It's all going to be mobile and digital because that's what the younger people expect when they walk in. And I think it's required to actually attract the talent. I think we're going to see much more dynamic and intelligent operations, more predictive and more reliable. That can be on-site, that can be remote. There is a vision for some of our clients about autonomous and connected operations and be able to do things in core central hubs that can service the plants in a different place than on-site or in a control room.
Autonomous, I mean, that seems to be another one of those buzzwords that's here.
Yeah.
And I know the auto industry is certainly headed in that in a big way.
Yeah.
But do you see that that is really a growth opportunity for you?
We do. I think it will be slower than some other ones. We had a discussion on our panel here at Optimize where we talked about kind of our social responsibility as an industry when we talk about automation, right? And automation can come in different forms. It could be robotics. It could be using cognitive and AI to advise, right, the operations and the personnel on how to do their things. It could be greater technology that actually just takes out work altogether and has closed loop. I think we have an obligation to figure out how we do that in a socially responsible way that allows us to continue to grow talent in our towns and the places that we work, and over time create new jobs and opportunities for people, and it means really reskilling a large portion of our workforce to take advantage of that autonomous operations.
Is this your first Optimize?
It is my first Optimize.
What do you think?
It's been a fantastic couple of days. I've been very impressed with the quality of the speakers, the content. I'm actually intrigued by where Aspen Tech is going around using cognitive and applied intelligence throughout their engineering and their production operations agenda. And I loved the statement that Antonio made about our job is to drive digital transformation by optimizing the assets to be, I think he said, longer, greener, and safer, right, over time. And I think that's where the heart of the industry needs to go.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming today.
You're welcome.
Tracey Countryman, and she is with Accenture. And thank you for joining us.